Namastê.
Bom dia. Merhaba. Hello والله.
Shawndya.
Ni hao.
مرحبا.
Hola.
Leia Saskerada.
Dobar dan. Вітання. Salut. How about a wave?
Hi, Alex. Hi. It's been a while. Hey, what's up, James? Yeah. Wait, we haven't got that back out here. Well, I turned my paper like May 1st.
Oh hey, oh hi. Luke, say hi. Hey there. Hey, you want to look at
Oh, hey.
How do you get my face on?
Hey, I was looking for you. You're there?
Let's go. Shawndya.
It's actually, I mean, it's a great sound and it's especially as a Stanford person as I am. I think it looks pretty slick. So it would be pretty awesome actually if we all got together and said we're all going to wear shades. Hello!
Yeah. Wave, bro.
There you go.
Please rise for the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Thank you, Natalie, for that wonderful rendition. That was just wonderful. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my great honor and privilege to welcome our distinguished speaker, the Honorable Shawndya L. Simpson, my faculty and staff colleagues, the members of the class of 2017, and your friends and family to this commencement for the University of Pittsburgh School of Law, class of 2017. This is a special day for our graduating class and indeed for the entire School of Law. For our graduates, this day is a day of completion, of achievement, and of celebration. It marks the end of a long journey, a journey that has been marked by intellectual challenges, hard work, the development of lifelong relationships, and personal and professional growth. Whether you were studying for class or representing clients in our clinics, whether you were competing in moot court and mock trial competitions or organizing auctions to raise money for public interest work, whether you were working in judicial chambers as externs or studying abroad, you have had a very full 3 years. I applaud your dedication and your perseverance, both of which are good predictors of your future success as members of the legal profession. This is your day, and you should rightfully be proud of your accomplishments. Although the ultimate credit for this achievement is yours and yours alone, you have, of course, been aided and supported in your journey by those who love you. And so I want to take a few moments to acknowledge the many contributions of family members and loved ones, for they are celebrating with you today as well. The parents of our graduates may be celebrating for many reasons. Some may be glad to finally have a lawyer in the family, even if they're a little bit concerned about using your argumentative skills at the dinner table. Some of the parents may just be happy that you are finally finished with school and off of their payroll. But I know for certain, as a parent myself, that they are uniformly proud of you and your accomplishments, and they are pleased by the opportunities that the future now holds for you. And so I would first like to ask the parents of the graduating class of 2017 who are present to please rise so that the class can join me in giving you a round of applause. Thank you, and in particular to the mothers in attendance, since Sunday is Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day. The spouses and partners of our graduates have their own reasons for celebrating as well. They've witnessed the transformation that law school can produce in a person, mostly for good, sometimes not so much. But they've been by your side for those late nights, those long weeks, and for the many successes and disappointments that each of us experiences along the way. And so now I would like to ask the spouses and partners of the graduating class of 2017 to rise so that we can thank you for sharing your loved one with us for these past few years and give you a round of applause as well. One additional group that I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge separately is probably smaller both in number and in size, but it's my favorite. I'd like for any children of the graduating class to stand up or be lifted up so that we can acknowledge you. To the children of our graduates, you've probably wondered why for the past few years your mom or dad never goes anywhere without a heavy book, a highlighter, and a laptop in her hand. And I know there have been times where, due to the press of events, they may not have been able to be there for you at every moment as they will have wished. But I know this, that there were times when your hug or your smile was just what they needed to go that extra mile. You should be very proud of what your parents have accomplished through their hard work, and so, along with the graduating class, I offer my thanks to the children of our graduates as well. But, class of 2017, it is not only the members of your family and your friends who have helped you in your accomplishments. My faculty colleagues here on the stage have also played an important and indeed critical role in what you have learned, and perhaps more importantly, who you have become. The faculty of the University of Pittsburgh School of Law is among the finest in the nation. These gifted teachers and scholars have given a significant part of themselves to all of the graduates whom we celebrate today. Over the past few years, while they may have made you squirm in class on occasion, they've also helped those light bulb moments to occur when everything comes together. They've also advised you on how to get through law school and what to do with your life after you get out. They have taught you about finding the right answer and, more importantly, about asking the right questions. And I hope that the graduates and all in attendance will join me in expressing appreciation for our faculty's teaching, guidance, and support of our graduates. I now have the great pleasure of introducing the president of the class of 2017, Brittany A. Felder. In addition to her position as class president, Brittany serves as vice president of the Pitt Black Law Students Association and served as attorney general for the Mid-Atlantic Black Law Students Association. A recipient of the Johnny Gamage Scholarship and the Unmet Needs Scholarship, Brittany has also been very active with Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity, the Pittsburgh Pro Bono Expungement Project, the Derek Bell Community Legal Clinic, and our Marshall Brennan Constitutional Literacy Project, where she taught a constitutional law class for local high school students. She also participated in the Pitt Law Negotiation Competition and the Pitt Law Mock Trial Competition, as well as the Pitt Law Intramural Football Team. A cum laude graduate of the University of Pittsburgh with a degree in sociology and politics, Brittany has planned to be an attorney since she was 10 years old, which made her very precocious and somewhat odd, I would gather. She's told us that when she was young, members of her family would tell her that she talked too much. Indeed, one of her cousins even gave her the nickname of Radio because she talked so much, to which she would reply, "Oh yeah, well one day I'll get paid to talk when I'm a lawyer." Brittany's passion for being a lawyer and working in the criminal justice system has already been manifest during her time in school. She has made significant contributions to the Youth Police Advisory Council and the Prison Law and Litigation Practicum, where she had an opportunity to represent a prisoner who alleged his rights had been violated. She has also volunteered with the Jubilee Soup Kitchen and the Homewood Church of Christ tutoring program. I am pleased and proud to present the president of the class of 2017, Brittany Felder.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank the Dean for that wonderful introduction. And before I begin my speech, I'd like to address two things. First, I want to thank everyone that came here because we couldn't have gotten through these 3 years without your love and support. Additionally, my voice is a little gone because of allergies, so if I take a sip of water or you can't hear me all the way, I apologize ahead of time. Okay, so A few weeks ago, I attended the law school's public interest recognition luncheon known as Simpson, and one of my close friends, Sean Champagne, was awarded the Most Distinguished 3L Public Interest Scholar Award. During his acceptance speech, he mentioned the words of a very wise man. He said, "The greatest crisis facing lawyers is an identity crisis. We don't know who we are, and we don't know who we want to be. We take for granted that we are valuable to society, forgetting that we too have to earn our keep and justify our existence." I would submit to you all today that Pitt Law is where I found my place in the world. I will never forget my first year of law school. The late nights, the strange writing styles, and the fear of the ever-present and bone-chilling monster known as the mandatory curve. I was thrust into an entirely new world, and I was thankful to be here. I attended classes and office hours, and things are going well. However, as is common during law school, life went on. Some things changed, some for the better and some for the worse. It was halfway through my first year of law school when I found out my father had been diagnosed with prostate cancer. I was again terrified. I had never been one to talk about my feelings, so I kept on moving, not telling anyone I was not okay. This is law school, I thought, not knowing what that meant. In the second semester of my first year, my father had to have surgery. I knew I was going to go home to be there, and that meant missing a full week of classes. I didn't want anyone to think I wasn't taking school seriously, so I had to let my professors know why I'd be gone and for how long. I missed the week of school, and when I came back, I looked at the mountains of work I had left. I had a property midterm coming up, so I met with Professor Taylor for office hours. He met with me as often as I needed, and he made sure I truly understood the work. He never lowered expectations or standards, he simply showed me the resources available. But it wasn't just that action that had an impact on me. After class, occasionally, he would ask me how my father was doing. That was something really small, but it meant a lot to me. I tell you this story to tell you who the Pitt Law community is, how we help each other, and how we support each other. This isn't just my story. When Bethany Harris was sick and missed some classes, our section rallied around her. Students sent their notes for the days she missed and offered to drive 30 minutes away just to take her some soup. When Marisa Rodriguez started law school as a single mom, she knew it was going to be difficult. What she wasn't prepared for was the immense support she received from faculty and students. No student ever complained about her boys sitting in on classes. Our peers would often watch the boys while she had important meetings. When Rishabh Soni was worried about law school, he bottled it up, just like I did. But his peers, and our peers, like Thais Carniero, took the time to hug him and tell him that everything was going to be all right. When law school got too stressful, organizations like the Black Law Students Association would host talks so that students could air their frustrations and work towards solutions in positive manners. Organizations like the Pitt Law Running Club would send out silly emails encouraging students to take a minute and laugh, and possibly go out for a run or eat pizza. When the Marsh and Breno Fellows weren't sure how we were getting to Boston for the students' competition, Dean Deasy drove us all up in his van, and he blessed us with his extensive CD collection of ghost stories. He even let us listen to my Backstreet Boys CD. So we figured out how the gifts we were born with could be utilized to help others. This community didn't just look after our legal minds, but the whole person. And that foundation of compassion and respect oozed throughout us all. See, we each came here with our own uniqueness, talent, passion, integrity, humor, and compassion that you all sitting out there instilled in us and helped us cultivate. And we learned how to use that in a legal framework here at Pitt Law. You gave us the blueprint, and Pitt Law gave us the tools. This community doesn't just exist within the law school. The legal community and our alumni lend support in any way they can, whether it be looking for jobs or just needing someone to vent to. They always make themselves available. Our faculty and staff go to bat for us daily, showing us that no matter how much success you've received, you should never forget where you came from, and you should always give back. This is evident because our class alone has contributed tens of thousands of hours of its time and energy to pro bono work. We've taught in juvenile detention centers. We've met clients in jail. We've helped people who couldn't afford attorneys in civil matters. We've helped expunge records and free the wrongfully convicted. Even this morning, one of our students, Edom and Eric, did a trial. We've done all of this knowing how to respect each other and every person that we encounter. We've learned that no matter what field of law we venture into, we can always lend a helping hand, and we know how to do so effectively. In times of distress, I'm confident that each and every one of my peers will meet the challenge head-on with technical skill, confidence, and compassion. I've already seen them do it. I've greatly enjoyed my time at law school, and I will miss all the friends and mentors I've been blessed with, but I will always be able to carry the Pitt Law community with me. I will remember how supported and nurtured I felt during my time here, and I will spread that to everyone I can. So thank you, Pitt Law, for the opportunities and the memories, and thank you, Class of 2017.
Thank you, Brittany, for those wonderful remarks. I now have the pleasure of introducing to you the President of the Student Bar Association at Pitt Law, Courtney Berniker. In addition to serving as a highly effective SBA president, Courtney has contributed significantly to the Pitt Law community in a wide variety of ways. She was a class representative to the SBA during her first year of law school and then served as second-year class president. Courtney also served as a student member of our faculty hiring committee and has worked for the law school's Office of Professional and Career Development. She was a member of the Pitt Law Women's Association and the Pitt Legal Income Sharing Foundation. Courtney also completed our Health Law Certificate program. Courtney earned her BA in Politics, Philosophy, and Economics from the University of Pittsburgh. In addition to her many activities at the law school, Courtney also found time to work at the Wyndham Pittsburgh University Center Hotel, where she tells us she developed some of her best client counseling skills in dealing with irate hotel guests. She also found the time to volunteer with the Christian Legal Aid Society. During her law school summers, she worked with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs and the law firm of McDonald, Illig, Jones in Britain in Erie, Pennsylvania. She is proud of her accomplishments with the law school's Student Bar Association, particularly her efforts in improving transparency and collaboration with the law school's faculty and staff. Courtney is now set to return home, where she will be practicing corporate and municipal law with the Kozloff Stouts law firm in Wyomissing, Pennsylvania. It has been a true pleasure to work with Courtney, and I'm pleased to give her to you now. Courtney.
Thank you, Dean Carter. It's been a pleasure to work with you as well. And I want to thank all of my classmates who are graduating today. Congratulations, and thank you for the honor of serving as your SBA president this year. It's been a true honor working with all of you. But today, I have the honor of presenting the 2017 Robert T. Harper Excellence in Teaching Award to one of our many esteemed faculty who have embodied the role of not only a teacher, but a mentor to the class of 2017. Each year, the graduating class elects to honor one of our faculty members for their ability to not just teach us, but to inspire us. It is my pleasure today to present this year's award to Professor George Taylor, and I think Brittany's statements during her speech are just one of the pieces of evidence as to why Professor George Taylor deserves this award. Over the past year, I have learned that a law school faculty member serves in 3 roles. There is an administrative role, they do scholarship and research, but most importantly, they teach. Professor Taylor is unique because while in each of these roles, he always acts for the benefit of us students. Serving on committees with him this past year, I have witnessed him fight for the better study space in our library after the renovations, which start on Monday. I've heard that he takes great pride in his role as chair of our curriculum committee, and I know that he is building a better curriculum for the law students that come after us. He has used his research, which focuses on evaluating the methods by which judges and lawyers interpret statutory and constitutional law to develop courses, such as our legislation and regulation course, that have provided us with not just the content, but really tools that we can use throughout our careers. These tools, such as Adjustum Generis, which for many of you may seem like Latin, but it actually matters if you're an attorney, actually make us sound like we know what we're doing, and it actually helps us in every practice area. I've used it in pretty much every class since. In the classroom, though, Professor Taylor, as Brittany has discussed, goes beyond just the content of the course. He's there for each of us throughout the class time and even afterwards. He walks through materials so that each classroom is filled with learning so that each student leaves knowing the material, but not just learning just what the textbook said. He shows us how to really practice law, something that I think Pitt Law does better than many other schools. His kind, friendly, and supportive demeanor in the classroom has inspired so many of his students to continue to take his courses. And trust me, Professor Taylor, you have a very loyal fan base because they tell me about it all the time. Outside of the regular courses, Professor Taylor consistently agrees to work with his students on independent studies, and many of them turn to him knowing that he provides that support. Because of all this, I believe that Professor George Taylor truly deserves this honor, and I know that it was just an honor just to be one of his students throughout my time here at Pitt Law. So thank you, Professor Taylor, for your dedication to your students in and outside the classroom. It is my pleasure today to present the 2017 Robert T. Harper Excellent in Teaching Award to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Courtney, and thanks also to the class of 2017. It's a particularly significant honor for me to be granted this award, given the array of dedicated scholars and teachers sitting behind me from whom you had the chance to choose. As most of you in the class know, I had the pleasure of teaching 2/3 of you in your first year, teaching 1/3 of you in property and then another third across 2 semesters, both in property and legislation and regulation. If I remember correctly, for that section, you had your very first law class with me in the fall and your very last class of the year with me in the spring. I've wondered whether our extended time together, whether over 1 semester or 2, might lead to some favorable votes, or instead incline you to vote in quite an opposite direction. I'm glad, of course, to see that the favorable votes seem to have prevailed. As those of you who've had me as one of those have had some experience with this, and in upper level classes to seen this more directly, I have a special interest in how disciplines outside the law can inform and enhance legal analysis and evaluation and make you better attorneys. On another occasion, I'd be happy to talk, for example, about the import for law of fields such as behavioral economics, neuroscience, behavioral biology, all subjects that I bring into the upper year subjects. In my brief remarks today, though, I want to concentrate on another discipline. I especially want to commend the English majors among you. My reference to English majors is a shorthand for a major in any literature, and we'll see shortly that my reference includes each one of you. At a time then when the role of the humanities in universities is questioned in many quarters as not practical enough, I want to honor the very practical importance of the English major in law and legal education. Just as you need to know economics to become a good lawyer, I think you need to develop aptitudes and proficiencies in the humanities to become a good lawyer as well. So what do I mean? English majors come into law school with skills that we seek to cultivate for the particular world of legal analysis. English majors know how to parse the logic of a text line by line, paragraph by paragraph. And in law school, we hone and extend that analysis across texts, whether statutory and regulatory provisions, constitutional sections, or judicial opinions. English majors know the significance of writing well, even if in law school, sometimes we have to tone down the florid prose of English majors. English majors know that to construct an argument, a major component is the narrative they tell and the ability to persuade. The story is an essential part of a legal stance. English majors also know the value of creativity and imagination in crafting an alternative perspective. In law, similar skills are often necessary as a matter of judgment, to extend prior precedent to new situations of applicability, or to foresee a path for the law not yet contemplated. I've also been interested in studies that show that because of the exposure of English majors to a wide swath of literary worlds other than their own, they have a greater sense of empathy. Sometimes empathy is mistakenly reduced to bias, to concession, or to agreement. In my view, instead, empathy means understanding. As likely a parent, whether you were an English major before entering law school, I hope that law school has helped each one of you to become more like an English major. An ability to read closely, to write and speak persuasively, think creatively, and more generally, an ability to understand. In my final comments, I want to emphasize the last of these traits, the ability of the English major to understand. We are all too aware nationally and internationally that understanding across our differences is very difficult to come by. I have been impressed, though, by an article by journalist James Fallows, who tells a different story based on his travels over a 3-year period, touching upon a number of smaller and mid-sized cities, including here in Pittsburgh. Fallows reports that though many of us are discouraged by what we hear and read about the U.S. at a national level, the closer we are to the action at home, he says, the better we like what we see. At a local level, people are working across differences on educational reform, cultivation of the arts, enhancing opportunities for small business, and so on. The same search for and talent for understanding can be true for your own legal work at a local level too, client by client and case by case. If we are concerned about the threats to the unraveling of the national fabric, perhaps possible redress lies in taking responsibility for what Fallows calls the raveling up of our own work. Small changes in trajectory that you can initiate can lead to big changes in trajectories over time. And just think, all of this is possible simply as a result of your being an English major law graduate. Thank you again for the honor of the teaching award, and I wish each of you well in your personal and professional journeys. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Courtney, and congratulations, Professor Taylor. I'm very proud to have you as a member of our faculty. I now have the honor of introducing today's distinguished speaker, New York State Supreme Court Justice and University of Pittsburgh School of Law alumna, the Honorable Shawndya L. Simpson. Justice Simpson was elected as a civil court judge of the City of New York, and she sat in Manhattan Criminal Court for 8 years. In 2016, she was elected as a Supreme Court Justice of the State of New York, Kings County. Prior to taking the bench, Justice Simpson was one of New York's most accomplished prosecutors, having successfully convicted over 90% of the defendants in her cases. She served as bureau chief of a felony trial unit in the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office, where she supervised more than 40 assistant district attorneys, and was responsible for the prosecution of thousands of criminal cases. She has conducted hundreds of grand jury presentations and has extensive trial experience involving felony offenses. Justice Simpson has also appeared on numerous television shows as a legal commentator covering high-profile cases and explaining courtroom events, the logistics of the legal system, and trial strategy. She has served as a visiting professor at Emory Law School and as a lecturer in the subject of law and American society at the College of New Rochelle. In addition to her many professional roles, Justice Simpson also dedicates an enormous amount of time to her charitable endeavors, such as the Jackie Robinson Center, the Bed-Stuy YMCA, and Project Reach Youth. At the Brooklyn DA's office, she was the chairperson of the Leadership and Sensitivity Training Committee and participated in the office's Adopt a School program to educate local students through a law-related curriculum with an emphasis on drug and bias prevention. Justice Simpson has been honored by the University of Pittsburgh, by the New York Criminal Bar Association, and the Brooklyn Anti-Violence Coalition, among many others. And she recently won the National Jack and Jill of America organization's Power to Make a Difference Award. A member of the New York State Bar Association, the Brooklyn Bar Association, and the Metropolitan Black Bar Association, Justice Simpson received her Bachelor's of Science degree and her JD from the University of Pittsburgh. Justice Simpson and her husband, Jacob Walthour Jr., and their 5 children reside in Brooklyn, New York. And so, to our graduates, guests, faculty, friends, and staff, it is my great honor to present to you our 2017 commencement speaker, the Honorable Shawndya L. Simpson.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is such an honor and privilege to be here this afternoon. Wow. I woke up in Pittsburgh this morning, and when I opened my eyes, I saw the Cathedral of Learning. And it all started to come back to me, my affection and dedication for this great institution. Dr. Martin Luther King once said, intelligence plus character, that is a goal of true education. In my 7 years at the University of Pittsburgh, I learned that education is the great equalizer. I learned that knowledge is powerful. I learned that leadership is not personality, it's performance. I learned that being a leader is not about effect or effort, it's about results. I learned from being a lawyer and a judge that the right choice is not the easiest choice. I learned that in the workforce, you have to learn to not only work with yourself, but to work with others, because everybody is somebody. And people need to know that you care, that you understand, and that you respect them. Before I move on, I would be remiss not to acknowledge and thank the following. To our great institution, the University of Pittsburgh School of Law, founded in 1895. To Dean William Chip Carter. To Senior Vice Chancellor and Chief Legal Officer Javette E. Washington. To SBA President Courtney Bertnecker and third-year class President Brittany Felder. To the dedicated administrators, faculties, and staff, specifically retiring faculty John and Nancy Burkhoff. To Judge Marilyn Horan. To Sarah Barker and the law school staff for organizing the graduation ceremony. To Professor Kevin Deasy, my forever mentor, my friend, my rock. To the families, immediate or extended. To friends and supporters of all the graduates. And last but not least, to the distinguished class of 2017. Can you believe it? You made it. It's graduation day, and you should feel nothing but pride and joy. Now, to tell you a little bit about myself, I was a military brat who went to 3 different high schools. Wiesbaden in Germany, New Jersey, and yes, I graduated high school in Leavenworth, Kansas. I lived in Brooklyn public housing as a child, and I must say that those housing projects were magical as they produced former NBA player John Sally, weatherman Al Roker, and Starbucks founder Howard Schultz. And boy, do I love some Starbucks. But nevertheless, there were New York City housing projects. When I think about those days, I am reminded of a quote from my idol justice on the U.S. Supreme Court, who grew up in a tough Bronx neighborhood. Through books, I saw the world. She also said, don't give up because you are overwhelmed by the odds. So I didn't give up. Instead, I came to the University of Pittsburgh. Although I didn't come here until I was 17, I considered Pittsburgh and the University of Pittsburgh to be my home. Again, I was 17. I came here. I had no money. I had no connections. All I had were dreams and an unwillingness to give up. I stayed here for 7 years, completing undergraduate school and law school. I was not only given an education, I was given a foundation to the University of Pittsburgh, from the cafeterias to the classroom, from the dormitories to the dean's office, and I say thank you. Thank you for hosting me. Thank you for educating me. And most of all, how can I forget, thank you for financing me. I don't know where I would be without financial aid. Pitt treated me well. The thing I remember most about law school, it was a grind. We used to ask ourselves daily, is this tassel really worth the hassle? And I say to you, Pitt Law School class of 2017, your tassel was definitely worth the hassle. I will also say to you that now that you have your diploma, it's time to hustle. You know, I have to stop for a second and just look at all of you, and I'm just so proud. I see me in each of you, and I hope you see me in you. You are all destined to make a difference. You have overcome great odds and obstacles and defied all the naysayers to cross the stage and become a part of an elite and respected fraternity. I used to say as a little girl in the projects that I wanted to be a judge, and my friends, neighbors, and teachers, even relatives laughed at me. You see, who would have ever thought that a little girl whose parents migrated from Central America, from the country of Panama to Brooklyn, New York, would have the opportunity to be a Supreme Court judge in the state of New York? Who would have ever thought that this little girl who grew up in public housing would have the opportunity to be a judge in the state of New York? Who here has worked at McDonald's? I did. Who here has worked at Pizza Hut? I did. Who here has worked at Burger King? I did. At this stage, you're probably saying, can this woman hold a job? In all seriousness, who would have ever thought an assistant district attorney, bureau chief, assistant attorney general, a legal commentator, and many features from the New York Law Journal to the Washington Post, and my most proudest moment, the Pitt Law magazine. Who would have ever thought? Well, I did. Now here I am standing before you today. New York Supreme Court Justice Shawndya Luisa Simpson made history as the first Panamanian American Supreme Court Justice of the state of New York. And my plan? And my plan is to continue to make history. I think of no better time in my lifetime than today to stand where I stand and for you to sit where you sit. I think we can all agree that we are living in interesting times. I like to say they are challenging times. And I'm not just referring to the sphere of politics. Graduates of the class of 2017, I have to tell you, our nation needs you. Our nation needs your intellect. Our nation needs your energy. Our nation needs your compassion. Our nation needs your creativity. Our nation needs your leadership. You see, the United States needs to be united. We have become a nation of opinions and issues and ideologies and political parties, Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, right to life, green, independent, and my favorite in name only is a Tea Party, because what woman doesn't like to put on a beautiful dress and a big hat and sip some tea? All of these parties have at least one thing in common: leadership that believes in fighting and not united. Meanwhile, teen suicide statistics are up, drug overdoses are up, 1 in 4 teens, girls in America experience pregnancy, gun violence is up. Today, we as a nation have been divided over the subject of terrorism, more specifically policies restricting immigration from Muslim nations. Now let me share something with you, and it's important to remember that my parents and grandparents, like most Americans, were immigrants. They came here in the spirit of Declaration of Independence for the promise of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Class of 2017, we only need one party, and all of us need to be at that party. Black or white, Hispanic or Indian, Christian or Jewish, Catholic or Muslim, male or female, gay, straight, or transgender. Let's party together. Let's stop feeling the urge to be on the left or the right. The time is now to be about right or wrong. Class of 2017, don't let the media define your values. Define them for yourself. Tap your sense of morality. Tap your sense of justice. Tap your sense of ethics. Class of 2017, you are a University of Pittsburgh School of Law graduate, and we don't follow, we lead. We don't cry. We create, we don't disparage. We inspire, we don't run. We engage, we don't sit down. We build bridges, we don't build walls. We stand up for what's right. You see, class of 2017, you have the potential to be great. I repeat, you have the potential to be great. Great lawyers who handle great cases, and when you think back over time, great lawyers and great cases all started with someone recognizing right from wrong. Someone standing up rather than sitting down. For example, Gideon versus Wainwright. Criminals had a right to attorneys. Loving v. Virginia, state law invalidating interracial marriages. Roe v. Wade, women had a constitutional right to choose. And in 1896, Plessy v. Ferguson, which declared segregation. And in 1954, the Supreme Court ruled 9-0 in the Brown versus the Board of Education to declare segregation unconstitutional. These great cases, handled by great attorneys, didn't start as legal issues. They started with a view of right and wrong, a view that even the poor had a right to legal representation, a view that it's okay for people of different race to marry and have a family, a view that a woman should make her own decision regarding her body, and certainly a view that it was okay for me to attend the University of Pittsburgh Law School next to people who didn't look like me. Class of 2017, be great. Have a willingness to stand up and fight for what is right, and then pass on your greatness. To paraphrase my beloved Justice Sotomayor, when young people grow up with proximate living examples of what they may aspire to become, their goal remains abstract. Books and televisions are too remote. A role model in the flesh provides more than inspiration. It tells them, yes, someone like me can do this. I want to share a story, and this was my campaign theme. I call it the starfish story. It's a man and a woman who are at the beach who are strangers to each other, and the man for hours, he's picking up something, throwing it in the water, picking up something, throwing it in the water. The woman, she's sunbathing, sleeping, reading her book, watching the man for hours, and out of curiosity, she finally gets up and she walks over to the gentleman, and she said, "Sir, you know, I've been watching you for hours. What are you doing?" He said, "Look around. The starfish are dying. If I throw them in the water, they'll have a chance for survival." The woman starts laughing and she said, "Are you crazy? Do you really think that you're going to make a difference?" The man bent down, picked up a starfish, and threw it as far as he could. And he said, "Ma'am, I bet you I had the power to make a difference to that one." So I would like to take this moment and emphasize the power to make a difference, the power of mentorships, the power of one. Mentors have played a significant role in my trajectory, and I've been blessed to have so many people who have played a significant role in my life. And for that reason, every year I take on a college student, a law student, and a high school student. And I understand this. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Graduates, whatever you're going through and however you're feeling, remember that I said this. It is a temporary inconvenience for a permanent improvement. Never give up. Never, 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 ever give up, no matter what you're going through. Keep on living, because whatever you're going through, commit to the following. Knowledge is power. You will turn a vice into victory. You will turn obstacles into opportunity. You will turn barriers into benchmarks. You will turn a mess into a miracle. You will turn a stumbling block into a stepping stone. How do I know this? Because I've been there and I persevered. You see, neither success nor failure is ever final. Sometimes a setback is a setup for a comeback. And I did have a comeback. When I was in law school, I hit a low point, and sometimes I would sit in class and I would say to myself, "What the heck am I doing here?" But you know what? I didn't quit. I refused to quit, and I refused to fall back. And I didn't fall back. Instead, I moved forward. So when it comes to your goals and the many wonderful things you want to achieve in life, I implore the class of 2017 to go after them with a gusto. But at the same time, don't miss out on your lives due to the pursuit of your professional objectives. But don't be so narrowly focused on getting there that you totally miss out on the many enriching things life has to offer. When you belong to this wonderful club called the human race, if there's any rule, any constant, is that all of you will fall down from time to time, and believe me, I've been there. However, every ultra successful individual that I've ever met had some major heart-wrenching failure in their past. I was on the bench for 13 years before I was finally elected and elevated to the New York Supreme Court, and that was exactly 4,745 days. It was exhausting, grueling, excruciating, but it was worth it. Over the years, I learned successful people understand that failure is just part of the learning process, nothing more. They don't allow failure to find or make them get down on themselves. I am forever mindful of the fact that my life was meant to be one of service. When I was growing up, my mother didn't have much, but she would always emphasize 3 things. And she said, number 1, never forget where you came from. 2, be true to yourself. And 3, no matter what you accomplish in life, how much money you make, what house you live in, or the title you may have, you be humble. To you I say, never give up. Find a reason for hope in every situation. You have the path to possible. Dream propels determination. Knowledge is power. Delay does not mean denial. Don't let people who don't matter so much matter so much. Neither success nor failure is ever final. When one door closes, another door opens. Nothing that you've been through shall be wasted. When you think it is a battleground, it is your training ground. In 2003, 2013, I campaigned on the theme, the power to make a difference. But I want to leave you with this quote by Thurgood Marshall. We must dissent from the indifference. We must dissent from the apathy. We must dissent from the fear, the hatred, and the mistrust. We must dissent from a nation that has buried its head in the sand, waiting in vain for the needs of its poor, its elderly, and its sick to disappear and just blow away. We must dissent from a government that has left us young without job, education, or hope. We must dissent from poverty of vision and the absence of moral leadership. We must dissent because America can do better, because America has no choice but to do better. And I'm not here to give you just a speech, I'm here to have a real conversation. No matter how successful you are, always remember to help elevate someone else. Now that you graduate, elevated to new levels, new heights, pass on your wisdom, words of encouragement and support to someone who needs you. So once you reach the penthouse of your career, send the elevator back down so it could send someone up. No matter how successful you are, reach out and lift someone up, encourage them, take their hand and pull them up, share your success. Promise me you will bestow hope. Let them be a gift to someone. Remember that in life it's important to aid others because they will eventually become your legacy. Please be in mind that all things come in time, and it probably doesn't seem like this at this moment, but you can't wait to get out there and see what you can accomplish with that law degree. However, time is definitely your ally. Don't fall into a trap that some new graduates fall victim to of rushing to achieve lofty goals in the shortest period of time. So today I say to you, and I encourage you, to stay in touch with friends and professors and continue building good relationships, to live within your means, to stand up for what is right, even if you stand alone, faced with opposition, to never compromise your integrity, to share, to nurture, and to do good. Years from now, you probably may not remember your law school commencement speaker, because quite frankly, I can't remember mine. But I ask you this, that you remember that someone once told you you were born to win, you were born for greatness, you were created to be a champion of life. Stevie Wonder was once asked, what's worse than having no sight? He replied, having no vision. So when you see that vision, I say to you, don't wait for the opportunity to come. Grab it, take it, claim it, make it your own. I am so honored to have been a part of this occasion and wish each of you the full measure of abundant blessings as you tackle the world outside our law school gates. May each of you experience unparalleled success moving forward. And if I'm ever in a position to extend a helping hand, class of 2017, please do not hesitate to call me. I'm truly blessed to be here today, and I wish I could spend more time with you, but my daughter, who has also been blessed to be chosen as the student commencement speaker at her college, Syracuse University, this evening. So I apologize in advance for my early exit as I travel to Syracuse. Thank you for your time and your patience.
Thank you, Justice Simpson. I could listen to you all day. I am tempted to quote one of our contemporary poets and start chanting, "Don't stop, Brooklyn, don't stop," but I won't do that. Could you come back to the podium for just a moment? We have a small token of our appreciation for your inspiring words and for spending time with us today. Again, thank you, Justice Simpson. We will now proceed to the commencement ceremony for the class of 2017. As the graduates step forward, I know that many of you in the audience will want to take photographs. We will also be taking pictures of every graduate for you. Therefore, I ask that friends and family please not come forward any further than the first row of audience chairs so that all of us can get the pictures that we want and not disrupt the flow of the proceedings. The order of commencement today is as follows. First, we will present the candidate for the degree of Doctor of Juridical Sciences to the 5th graduate of our doctoral program for foreign scholars. Next, we will present our 22nd class of Masters of Law candidates, lawyers from other countries who have engaged in an intense year of graduate study in the American legal system. Professor Ronald Brand will first present our SJD graduate and then the Master of Laws graduates. Next, Professor Alan Meisel, the director of our Master of Studies in Law degree program, will present the MSL candidates. The Master of Studies in Law degree program is for those persons who are interested in studying the law to acquire new skills and knowledge and to enhance their careers in professions outside of the traditional practice of law. Finally, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs Nancy Burkhoff and Associate Dean of Students Kevin Deasy will present the JD candidates. All of our graduates will proceed across the stage to be congratulated and to receive a certificate of membership in the Law School's Alumni Association. Your program booklet lists all of the members of the class of 2017, but we will only be reading the names of those who are in attendance today. I will now turn the proceedings over to Professors Meisel and Brand and Associate Deans Burkhoff and Deasy.
It is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce the class of 2017 recipient of the Doctor of Juridical Science degree, and I might add that this unique class is such that every member of this class is moving on to a postdoc at Yale Law School, wherever that is. Abdullah Suleiman Aloda. It is also my honor and privilege to introduce the members of the class of 2017 Master of Laws recipients. Flammer Abdullahu. Enes Bahajat Al-Safadi. Halida Ghassan Al-Sharif. Fahira Brodlia. Beryl Falou. Jaber Auni Imshael. Maria Alejandra Kenna. Oluwadara Ilu Omadi Eyatomi Omalaja. Nika Rasadina. Ana Thais Diaz Safe Cañero. Rishav Soni. Shil Yating. The LLM class of 2017.
Dean Carter, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Master of Studies in Law, being 9 in number, and I now ask you by your official act to confer upon them this degree with all the rights and responsibilities pertinent thereto. Lyasia C. Bishop. Amada Crespin. Patrick J. Eakin. Maria D. Fakey. Ohud Mosili. Tina Patel. Fayentolua Tola Adelani. Did I get it right? These are the MSL graduates of the class of 2017.
I have the honor of presenting to you the JD candidates, the class of 2017. Bryant Andrews. Patrick J. Augustine. Chase S. Ayers. Congratulations. Lucas William Bagshaw. Hannah L. Baldwin. Nicholas J. Barry. Cassandra A. Bobby. Corey A. Bauer. Congratulations. Justin D. Beck. Congratulations to you. Andrew W. Bensix. Courtney E. Berniker. Sarah C. Bame. Adam O. Buchek. Joshua A. M. Boyle. Taylor Nicole Braley. Joseph E. Brenner. Marley N. Bryson. Danielle Therese Bruno. Lydia Haran Caparosa. Justin L. Carpenter. Joseph Caruso. Adam J. Setra. Sean R. Chowdhury. Sean B. Conboy. Congratulations. Sean Champagne. Congratulations to you. Jennifer N. Corliss. Justin Cosgrove. Jonathan R. Danielchuk. Emily Davis. Jenna M. Decker. Laura M. DeGear. Matthew A. DeLucio. Elizabeth N. Dennis. Angela C. DeSantis. Brennan S. DeVore. Alexandra Grace Ferrone. Allison L. Fedorka. Brittany Alexis Felder. Alexander William Figley. Dustin R. Folio. Kelsey A. Fox. Samantha L. Pugali. Samantha J. Gagliardo. Patrick Gannon. Sophie Gaguchadze. Max A. Galernter. Lydia Gorba. Sarah N. Grape. Vanessa N. Griffith. Bethany E. Harris. Ashley Marie Henkel. Ashley Hogan. Lindsay E. Holzer. John E. Hoseth III. Valerie H. Howell. Meredith Hughes. Michael A. Ireno. Alexandra G. Kenya. Edward L. Kelly. Gianna M. Kelly. Thomas A. Cuban. Victor Samuel Kustra. Hold 1 second, we're going to have a changing of the guards here.
Cy O. Lample. Nicholas J. Larmer. Andrew K. Lee. Alicia L. Libby. Kiri Lockheiser. Shawndya M. Lambe. Alex M. Lonnet. James P. Lopez. Joseph M. Macklin II. Colleen A. Malik. Natalie L. Mangine. John Marty. Jonathan D. Mason. Valerie Merlina. Eden Blythe Manerick. Catherine C. Monbaron. Gabrielle N. Morella. Caitlin Ann Morris. Ross T. Malarski. Coleman F. Oberly. Babashola Alexander Ogundare. Ariel N. Oliver. Nicholas Pahuta. Luke Pasenik. Marissa Pereira Rodriguez. Emelina M. Perez. Weston P. Pasillo. Stephen G. Petramali. Kelly L. Pietricatello. Alexander B. Pacino. Wesley A. Pritchard. Zoe M. Reyes. Dana J. Ritchie. Alexa E. Roberts. Jeanette N. Robilliard. Michael Roche. Matthew J. Ross. Eric J. Rowling. Derek M. Runyon. Sarah Saba. Danielle N. Santoro. John Carlton Shalaba. Christopher Shook. Alexander M. Sidman. Megan A. Smith. Marcy Joy Solomon. James P. Spriestersbach. Taylor B. Steiger. Kendra Ann Strobel. Alexander C. Stubbs. Carrie Elizabeth Tallarico. F. Connolly Tiemann. Marla D. Tortorise. Kyle A. Eunice. Lee M. Vapnerick. Michael A. Vizini. Kyle J. Watson. Ian M. Watt. Stephen J. Wildberger. Camille Raquel Woods. Christopher P. Woodward. Brittany M. Wurzberger. Summer Yun Shah. Megan C. Yancey. I give you the University of Pittsburgh School of Law class of 2017.
Would the class of 2017 please rise, or as it is, remain standing? Please move your purple tassel from the right to the left. And as Dean of the University of Pittsburgh School of Law, let me be the first to offer you my congratulations on your graduation. Congratulations. Please be seated. At this time, Patrick Sork, Pitt Law Alumni Association President, will welcome you as the newest members of the Alumni Association. Pat is a stalwart of the legal profession and of our Alumni Association, and I'm pleased that he could be with us. Patrick?
Thank you, Dean Carter. I also wish to acknowledge and thank Justice Simpson, the staff, the faculty, and everybody else celebrating with us here today. It is indeed a great privilege to address you as president of the University of Pittsburgh Law Alumni and one of the first people to speak to you as full-fledged lawyers. The position I'm in is one of pride rather than power. I'm just one of the people who represent close to 11,000 living law alumni, a group that includes a former U.S. Attorney General, a U.S. Senator, Pennsylvania Governor, many highly distinguished judges, including Justice Simpson and Judge Horan, who are with us today, a classmate of mine who was instrumental in building, right here in Pittsburgh, one of the very few billion-dollar law firms in the world. We have graduate law alumni, and you saw some of the students who have foreign law degrees who are in important government positions around the world. No law school, no institution, no profession is perfect. We all had our clunker classes and bad experiences, and the path ahead is not all sweetness and light. But we grads can't help look back and recognize with gratitude that this place and these people gave us the tools we need to succeed. Two quick examples. Your life will be forever enriched by your mastery of language, and it was interesting to hear Professor Taylor talk about that in his words. The ability to understand, describe, and influence almost any written material you will see is a huge source of confidence that is now yours. Of course, it can also be a source of annoyance for your family and friends as you await your first episode, if it hasn't happened already, of being told, "Stop talking like a lawyer." And as we're just on the eve of Mother's Day, moms, I'm sure you're not going to get any more messages like, "Mom, you, letter U, R, letter R, cool, love, L-U-V, Brandon." Expect something much more eloquent. Second, one of the great lessons many of us learned from law study and practice is time is the most precious asset we have. When you bill for your time, you tend not to waste yours or other people's. It's a great principle that will help you with many decisions you make in your life. I heard this next expression at the class lunch, and I like it, and I want to reinforce it. The school claims you now as a graduate, as an alumnus, whether you like it or not. Your fellow alums claim you as well. We are a deep pool of resources on which you can call and on which we will call on you. So in closing, I will ask you to consider just one specific task. Stay connected. And you heard that from Justice Simpson also. You should do this in 3 directions. Stay connected to the school, stay connected to your classmates, and stay connected to all the rest of your fellow alums out there. There are a dozen ways you can do this. Join us for our annual Pitt Law Alumni Reunion Weekend each fall. Keep your contact information current with us so that you can get our Law Alumni magazine and our monthly e-newsletter. Tell us about your professional accomplishments and life events as well. These contacts will not only help your professional life, they will enhance your personal life. We're people with whom you can share your milestones. So on behalf of your fellow alumni, I wish all of you the best for your future. I look forward to the many opportunities we'll have in the coming years to interact and to represent Pitt Law proudly in the legal profession here, throughout the country, and throughout the world. Congratulations to each one of you and your families on this tremendous occasion.
Thank you, Pat, for your message to our graduates and indeed for all the good works that you and your fellow alumni do for our school. We wouldn't enjoy our outstanding national reputation without the achievements and involvement of the many thousands of Pitt Law graduates whom you represent. That concludes our formal ceremonies. The stage party will withdraw first, followed by the graduates, and then by our other guests. To our newest graduates, you have our congratulations, our best wishes, and our highest hopes. To our guests, thank you for joining us in this celebration of achievement. I hope that everyone will now come to the reception being held on the first floor of the Cathedral of Learning in honor of the graduating class. Class of 2017, congratulations.